I'll put it over here.
It's still you can't tell. Yeah, let me check. Yeah.
In the middle and over there is perfect. I'm just worried about like right here. Like that's fine. Yeah. There you go. Go for it. Harder. Nice. Nice teamwork. That's much better. Be temporary for us, and then we could always like gift it to the guest house that we build and take it out of here and put it in the one for visitors.
Mm-hmm. You think it's gonna stay?
Yeah, I think so. Bye.
Is it gonna stay?
Yeah.
You know what it kind of looks like?
What does it look like?
A workbench that should go in like a...
Garden potting bench?
Yeah.
Leave it to the gardening guy to build a temporary kitchen countertop when he builds a potting bench.
Yeah. No, I love it though. It's great in here. That's what we can use it for.
It'll be good for temporary, and then when we're done with it, we can put it outside in the garden for a potting bench.
Yeah. It'd be perfect for that. Can you see?
Nutritional yeast is the first thing you put on there. That's cool. And it's pretty sturdy. Like I can jump up on it.
Oh, where is it?
I already we can dance on the bar top.
I was a toddler on a horse outside a small town grocery store one day for another order from my mother. But she picked me up and said, now, today we get one time around.
Here's the state of our life right now. The yurt is going really well. Nicole's been working on organizing it and making it really cute, aesthetically pleasing, functional, and livable. I put together a little kitchen for us yesterday, which I'll show you in a second if you want to see just a very quick rudimentary kitchen that was built out of scrap wood we had from the deck and scrap wood from the pallets that delivered the deck. We've got about 20 different fruit trees growing here in pots, and we are keeping alive until the time comes when we have enough light and space cleared for planting them. If you spin around this way, I've got a very kind of small solar system, the beginning of our solar system. It's 100-watt panels going into a 12-volt battery. These 4 panels are able to fully charge a 12-volt battery every single day. The battery I just have tucked back here behind them. So there's the battery hooked up to the solar panels. So every day for about, I would say, 6 to 8 hours, the solar panels have a good amount of sun and they're able to charge that battery up, and then at night we use it to charge our lights, our LED lights, our phones, and our computers, so we can edit these beautiful videos for you guys. Up until now, if you've been watching our videos, you're pretty familiar with this part of the road. I've shown you guys many times this old logging road that until now has been kind of the lifeline and the blood vein of our life out here. It's kind of carried us, if we are hemoglobin, it's carried us to and from our property. So you guys are pretty familiar with this view right now. All the fruit trees lining the solar panels and the yurt. This is the sunniest spot of our property at this point. Behind me over there is the carport you guys saw me build on day one from Easy Build Structures, and the new Chocolate Thunder truck out there in the distance in front of the Spirit Bear white van. But we need to close this road off. We need to actually start to use this road for projects, and this road is not really going to be the transportation road anymore. We want to turn this road into the garden, into the fruit tree orchard. We want to have this be the beautiful edible food forest that surrounds our yurt and is tucked close enough to us that we can fence it in, be close to our garden, have some puppies and kittens run around here, and fence it all using the trees we cut down as fence posts so that we are protected from bears and cougar and deer. And then the raised beds we put up, we're going to also net in so that we're protected from birds. So we have to make a new road that's going to carry us to and from our yurt and our garden. So this is the new front foyer of our yurt. And if you could see down the chute there, that's the new front driveway. The logging road, just out of coincidence, runs all the way into our acreage, about 3 or 4 acres that way, all on our property, and then makes a beeline this way back for the dirt road that is technically the public road, even though nobody comes back here because we're the only ones who are back here. Friends and neighbors use the road to come up here and say hi and hang out. So luckily our logging road that's on our acreage leads back to the dirt road, the main road, but it is super overgrown. It hasn't been cleared or touched in 40 or 50 years since they last came in here and logged this property back in the 1970s. So it is overgrown with alder and salmonberry and fern, but mostly alder and salmonberry. I've been getting really good at uprooting all of the alder and salmonberry by hand, but today we're bringing out the big guns. We're bringing out the weed whacker. That's a circular chainsaw. Take it to this road real low. I don't want to hit rocks, but I want to get low enough where the trees are all cut down to ground level, and then hopefully Nicole and I and friends and neighbors using the road regularly will prohibit any of that alder or salmonberry from growing back. So I have to go about 3 acres or 4 acres in that direction into the property. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but we'll see what kind of progress I can make. And then once I clear the road, we can determine if we're going to fall or cut down any of the trees to make more room for light and sun. Also, up until this point, we have been using this outdoor kitchen canopy that cost us $75 as our outdoor kitchen. We've had this table for cutting, and we've had the gas-powered stove that Nicole's dad was good enough to buy for us. But now we have changed our kitchen to be with us in the yurt. There we go. That's the kitchen that I built yesterday that Nicole has organized and stocked so beautifully, dancing and laughing the whole time. She's really thrilled to have this. A lot of space for countertop stuff, cutting board, and lots of space for storage. We're gonna go get some eye hooks in town tomorrow and hook them underneath so we can hang all of our mugs underneath there. And then down below, some more storage and compost bucket over here. And then to the left, we have the gas-powered stove, temporarily going to be the only way we have to cook inside here, powered by propane. We can open the window behind, and if it gets too smoky in here, we can just open up the bubble skylight in the top and get some good ventilation going on. How do you like it?
I love it. It's great.
You have this really cool halo of light on the earth and a halo of light reflecting in the heavens.
Aww.
Looks really neat.
That's cool.
The yurt is really kind on the eye. Like, I like how it looks a lot.
Kind on the eye, I like it.
Okay, nice job. And now we have our first living space in about 1.5 years since Nicole and I have been living off grid and traveling the world. So I have to go today out here and forge a path for us in the rainforest of British Columbia. Making some progress here. Let me show you what I did and what I found. It's pretty cool. Such a brilliant gap in the forest that large machinery created 40, 50 years ago. And now I'm just like uncovering. I feel like a Indiana Jones type character, kind of discovering some ancient relics. And if you see, we turn off the road and our acreage goes in here. This is where the forest starts. So as I'm working, I'm learning. There's that movie called Maverick where he's a poker player. I think Mel Gibson plays Maverick, and he loses for the first hour. But while he's losing, he's learning everybody's tells, and then he wipes the floor with them. And I'm kind of shaping this forest, giving it a haircut, while at the same time learning about the forest, and kind of letting my mind run wild and thinking of fruit tree orchards and gardens, herb gardens, fruit gardens, vegetable gardens. Thinking about moisture, wind, shade, sun, terrain. And I'm honestly not quite sure what to do with this area yet, but I have a few ideas. And over here it's almost like a throne. Up there, let's go check it out. It's amazing. This is like a third generation forest, but the mementos of the old forest are everywhere, including these giant stumps that if you stand on puts you way above the ground. So there's a lot of pits and valleys. So much light trying to get through this forest, but it's just so overgrown. And these trees that are standing up, I mean, can just be knocked over, and everything's so brittle. Because these smaller trees are already starting to die and fall to make room for the grandfathers and grandmothers who will take over this forest. But back over here, it's like a bog. It's way far down. I would say there's like a 10-15 foot differential from where I'm standing to down there, and it really collects water down there. And one of the issues we have out here is too much moisture, which is way different than the desert where I've grown before. So we have to determine where we're going to plant a garden, where we're going to plant an orchard. And we don't want to give, like hundreds of fruit trees too much moisture to rot them.
Man, don't take me for a ride. I got business back inside. The way is bumpy, yes, I know. And yes, we've still got miles to go. Miles to go, miles to go. And miles before we even know if all these sacrifices made, can
can turn the tide and win the day. So we could all just head on home, but no, we've still got miles to go. I remember, but not quite, when we just used to sleep at night. And sometimes I would take my coat and wander out into the road.